There is no doubt about it, labour is really, really scary. It's going to be one of the most frightening things you've ever had to do, no matter how many times you hear your mum's done it, your sister's done it, your friend's done it. There's one born every minute. It doesn't make a difference to how you feel and how frightened you can be going into labour. And I'm not going to lie, there's tons of stuff to be frightened about. It's a scary thing. But here are my tips about, say, 5 things that you don't need to be so scared about. Having done labour twice, these were fears that I wish I just hadn't had. The first fear is the poo. I was at my NCT class when she said it is really normal to do a poo during your labour, and I thought, oh my god, of all things, on top of everything else, I'm now going to have to do a poo in front of my husband and in front of the nurses. But it's just natural, it's going to happen, because as your baby is coming out, it pushes everything else in its way out as well. And just do not worry about it. It is totally natural. We've heard of that. It doesn't make a difference to how you feel about it, of course, but believe me, when you are giving birth in the throes of labour, it will be the last thing you are worried about. So don't get yourself caught up in it. And if you're worried about it, you won't push as hard. And that pushing that you're doing, really, sometimes it feels like you're pushing a poo out and it's the baby. So don't hold back because you're worried about a poo. The thing I was really scared of was I going to get to the hospital on time? And this is just so frightening, especially with my second baby. I was frightened because I had an older one already, of course. We live and work in London, so my husband's got an hour to get home and then an extra, definitely half an hour drive to both hospitals. We had them at 2 different hospitals. I was really scared, that I was going to just feel a twinge and just not even be able to get to my phone or something. But those instances are really rare, and that's why they hit the news, and that's why they become like these urban myths. Like in my area, the lady who had the baby in her leggings because she didn't even have time to take them off. And I thought, that's going to be me, I'm going to have a baby in my leggings. But it doesn't happen hardly ever. You will know you're in labour from that first twinge. You've got time to get there. Just get yourself down there if you're worried. Make sure they examine you. You will have time. Just relax and calm down about that, and have an emergency contact, neighbour, local person on hand if you're really worried. At all times, know where they are so they can get to you quickly, because obviously it is quite frightening. The thing girls really worry about is what it's going to be like with their husbands seeing them in labour, and you suddenly go from this kind of like sexy wife, maybe, with this little cute bump, to this like wailing banshee. He's going to see everything. Is he ever going to look at you the same way again? And I don't buy into that with my husband, that he was going to be like, oh, the amazing miracle that you just performed, I love you even more. He's not. He's going to be thinking, oh my god, look at the gore, I never knew you could shout that loud. Did you just do a poo? But believe me, there is not a man on this planet who has been put off sex with his wife after seeing them in labour. You will probably have the opposite problem, that you won't be on feeling like you want to have sex, and he will be. So don't worry about that. It will just bring you closer together. And if you are worried about what they're going to say afterwards, I gave my husband a party line, which was, Sarah Jane was amazing in labour, she did brilliantly. And I just said to him, just say that. I don't want you going around telling people the funny little things that I said, or all the little stuff that I shouted for an epidural or anything. Just say one thing. And I gave him that line. So do that if you're worried. And my top tip for dads, one thing not to be scared of is your bloody parking costs. My husband was so nervous about his parking costs. I think it was just that he needed something to kind of worry about. To the point where our second baby, when the midwife was like, okay guys, I'm going to go now and leave you, if you've got any questions, he was like, what's happening with my parking ticket, can I get it? She was like, oh okay. But it's a practical concern. Most hospitals will validate your parking ticket. So ours, even in central London in Chelsea, was like £5 a day validated, because we were having a baby. Or they'll take down your registration numbers, what they did in our other hospital, so that they knew when they were patrolling that we were like having a baby. And they didn't kind of whack us with like a parking ticket. So those are my top tips of things not to be scared of so much as you're preparing to labour. I know it's a massively scary time. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you're going into labour and you're a bit frightened, do leave me a comment below about what you're scared about. There's loads of other mums on YouTube who can give you some advice and support at this time. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.